Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. And my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share these videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. So in today's video, guys, it's all about this woman who is just above 30, and she often been asked this question of why you don't want to have children anytime she's with some group of men, and they some kind of judge her. Then she just took to internet and decided to pour out her frustrations. Guys, I'm just gonna roll the clips as well as the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and let's get into it.
This is a comment on my friend Cecilia Regina's post, and this is her comment. Please follow her if you're not already following her. Well, the odds are if you're following me, you're probably following her. The comment says, and this is why men get so angry at child-free women, because they know they will never be able to pull these kinds of stunts to humiliate and control you. And that's why they are trying to take away our ability to control our own fertility, because they know, the world knows, men know, governments know, that the easiest way to trap a woman in marriage, to slow a woman down, to make it harder for her to participate in paid labor is to get her pregnant. Preferably get her pregnant a few times. If you're really hardcore about it, keep her pregnant and raising kids as long as you possibly can. It's the easiest way to slow a woman down. For Black women, it is a pipeline to poverty. Everyone talks about the school to prison pipeline with Black boys, but nobody talks about the pregnancy to poverty pipeline for Black women and girls. And once I read that statistic as a 21-year-old college student, and I realized, you know what, this is something I never really wanted to begin with. I only ever had the conversation with someone because I happened to be dating someone in my late 20s who desperately wanted children and was obsessed with having them. I was about to go to law school, and he was a doctor, and he had this whole Huxtable family image, and he was like, well, Claire Huxtable was a lawyer and she had 5 children. First, fictional. And second, we don't really know, assuming, let's say Claire Huxtable existed, right? We don't know how much being a mother of 5 and being a lawyer took out of her soul over those 20 years, 25 years when she was raising them 5 kids. And that's the part that nobody tells you about those arrangements, the cost. Oh yes, you can participate in paid labor and be a mother. But in this country especially, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you in money, and it's gonna cost you in pieces of your soul. It's gonna cost you in your health, and sometimes it's gonna cost you in your safety. Yes, single child-free women, they really hate us because it's getting harder and harder and harder to shame us into submission. They know they can't trick us into submission because it's medically impossible to get us pregnant. But since more women are getting wise to the game that the world is trying to run on us, it's harder and harder to shame us into submission. And that's kind of the part that's really making them angry. They're like, oh my gosh, we keep insulting them and telling them they're going to die alone and telling them they're horrible people, and they don't care. They're not complying. They're not doing what we want. See, these tactics used to work. Even during the feminist movement, even during the 60s, 70s, 80s, shaming women into compliance with patriarchy, those tactics used to work. In fact, in some areas, they still work. Like changing your name when you get married. 80% of women still do that. And even feminists, you'll be on a forum in a comment section with a bunch of feminists who will get super butthurt when you bring up the fact that 80% of women still change their names, and why do we do that? And then that gets into the whole conversation about choice feminism, which is a whole different subject. But if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids, or you know that you had all the kids you want to have, get sterilized now, because after abortion, now they're coming for birth control. A lot of these new abortion laws make certain forms of birth control classified as abortifacients, and the same thing as murder, basically. And after that, they're going to come for sterilization. Because once we get, and this is what I really want to hear. In 2025, I want to see the data at the increase in both female and male sterilizations between when Dobbs was decided and then. I'm really curious to see those numbers because I think rates of sterilization, particularly for women, are going to skyrocket, are already starting to skyrocket. We have data from web traffic with Google searches, inquiries about how can I get sterilized. But I want actual data to know how many people actually did it, because something tells me those numbers are going to be big. Just like Hope Peddler's predicting the Great Divorce, I'm calling it now. I'm predicting the Great Sterilization. With all these reproductive rights restrictions and the sad state of our healthcare and the sad state of our maternal mortality rate, I think riding sidecar with the Great Divorce is going to be the Great Sterilization. So let's see what those numbers look like in 2025. But to them, we're the worst. Single child-free women, we are the worst because they can't control us. This is a comment on
I was watching this woman's video and she was saying that she's a woman over 30, and one question that she often gets asked by men is whether or not she has children and whether or not she wants any. And she always feels judged by those men when she says she doesn't have kids and doesn't want them in the future. They try to make her feel guilty or ashamed because she doesn't have that yearning, that desire to be a mom. She has no issue with children or anything. It's just the fact that she's already helped raise so many children and she realizes how much work that being a mom actually entails. What I think is interesting about this is some of the main men who are always trying to devalue or discredit women that don't want children, that want to be child-free, not childless, child-free as a choice. Those men aren't the kind of men that want to be active fathers. They want to take credit for the child's successes. They want to post a child on their social media, but they don't want to be involved in the day-to-day job of raising a child. Like, so often some of those same men sound exactly like this.
And you consider yourself a pretty involved parent?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I'm just going to ask you some questions about your son.
Right.
And just answer them to the best of your ability.
I will do. No problem.
Very good.
Yeah.
What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one because I don't know.
You really don't know his birthday?
No, I don't know his birthday.
What grade is your daughter going into?
9th grade.
What's the name of your daughter's school?
Ash Creek Elementary School.
No,
River Creek.
no,
Something Creek.
no,
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Brown.
All right, let's look. That is incorrect.
They're blue. I have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
Some of these men know nothing about their own children, where they go to school, their birthday, nothing. They don't know if the child has a peanut allergy, nothing at all. But yet they're shaming women because they don't want to have kids, because they can already tell before they even have kids, a lot of the responsibility is going to fall on them. You can't shame women for not wanting to be a married single mom. And a lot of them, that's what they want from you. They want to have a child with you to slow you down, have a child with you to bond you to them. They want to have a child with a woman for so many reasons, but it's not always that they want to be a father. They don't want anything to do with the child and the day-to-day life of that child. They just want to be able to say that they're a dad.
I cannot believe the audacity in these people that ask me why I will not have children, when I know we have all been seeing these truth about Mother's Day videos going around the internet. And first, I want to say a big effing thank you to those women that are posting these honest videos about how they hate Mother's Day, how they're treated like crap on Mother's Day. They have to beg and plead and basically borrow and steal to get the bare minimum on Mother's Day. This honesty is so important. People ask me all the time, how can you make content about not having children? And I'll tell you why, because not enough people, especially women, are talking about all of the pros, first of all, being child-free, as a woman especially. But more importantly, there is not enough honesty in our society about the difficulties and the negative aspects about having children. I focus on the pros of being child-free because I don't really want to sit there and say like, oh, well, you have to deal with this and you have to deal with this as a parent. But it is an important topic. And the way these women are showing how they're being treated, it needs to come to light, because not every person really would willingly make that decision if more people talked about it. the audacity in these people that ask me why I will not.
Y'all have to go watch the rest of her video, but I do want to talk about one thing she did say. The pros and cons in having children. I only have 60 seconds, but I'm just going to put my little 2 cents in there. I personally feel like it should be more of a discussion out here before you have or make the drastic decision, intrusive decision to have a child. Like, I just feel like it needs to be more conversation. I don't know if y'all just sit there and be like, oh, we're just ready to have children. Or if your boyfriend or whoever you're with is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this shit on purpose, by accident. Like, talk about it, okay? I'm stuttering, I'm sorry, but talk about it. I've made it a point in my 20 years of age to understand the negatives and the positives of having a kid. Y'all do understand it's like 50% you can survive, healthy baby, y'all going home. And the other 50 could be death. Like,
to have kids, or that don't want to have kids because they want to be self.
I feel like social media has given us the ability to get online and make extremely pointless and stupid declarations that don't really need to be said. That's based on absolutely nothing but somebody's own opinion that's also based on absolutely nothing. Right? If you're a young person, if you're in your 20s and you don't have kids, that is perfectly okay. That is well within your right to want to be selfish and not want to have to give up your life or your youth or whatever to have children. When I was in my early to mid 20s, I didn't want to have kids. I gave a really similar reason to what she did. That was, I wanted my 20s, my youth, to be about me. I didn't want that responsibility. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it takes a certain level of maturity to understand and know that you're not ready yet. And it has absolutely no bearing on what type of friend you are, what kind of friend you can be. That is why sometimes some things that people get on here and say, they should just stop.
Like, seriously, lovelies, I think a lot of, like, men out there need to actually respect the fact that so many women are beginning to realize that there is more to life, above having kids, getting married and sitting down home, raising children, raising a family. There are so many, women that want to go to that route, which is so beautiful. And there are so many women who actually don't want to go to that route as well, which is so beautiful as well. And this has to do with individualism. This has to do with individual preferences. And what would be nice is when these guys, keep on bashing these women, calling them selfish, calling them, oh my God, you're gonna end up alone. You are so selfish. And I could actually understand where some, single child-free by choice women is coming from, because these people has actually, made that decision to not have kids and child-free. And this decision, they are so responsible for it, and no one really have, nobody has enough to actually ask them otherwise, because this thing is their body. Women should be also given the opportunity to choose whatsoever she want to do with her body. We shouldn't be subjected to actually do what other people want us to do, especially our opposite sex. We shouldn't be subjected to keep on doing whatsoever we are doing that we do not agree between us or between our own mind. But because of what society have to say, or because of what your partner, or because you think that you want to actually, you actually want to fulfill someone else's dream, you have to neglect yourself. You have to, you have to do whatsoever somebody want to do. The high time women, begin to put themselves first is the better for us. Because I have seen so many scenarios whereby a woman decided to pause herself or pause her life, and she went in to raise kids. She just wanted to raise kids, raise family, Then fast forward to so many years later, well, in the process of her raising her kids, building her family, her marriage, and all of that, her partner, who happens to be her husband, partner, or whatsoever, is so busy building his own career because he's not gonna stop working or stop his career in order to raise kids or whatsoever. But this man is, actually building his career. He's so successful with those years of, try and error. He was able to achieve it and become something, better for himself. And this woman is just home taking care of kids and taking care of your home. And later on, all the years must have passed by. Then you now realize that, okay, I think I have actually met up with my targets. Now this woman at home is no longer my level. That is when these men, we want to level up. They'll bring with all sort of, maybe they want to go divorce you, they don't find you more attractive. I am not disputing the fact that there are no successful marriage out there, but the way at which this divorce thing is clamoring all over the social media, I will not forget the woman I saw. She was just crying all over. She's in the process of a divorce. She don't have anything to her name. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's crying. She's homeless. Like, seriously, how could you get to such extent, allowing yourself to get to such extent without having a plan B to better yourself? Then while you are making his home, he's busy making his own career, and after which all the whole sacrifices and every other thing, he put you out and you are back to square one. And this is why so many women, if they want to be child-free by choice, I go ahead to support them, because a lot of women also need to build their own career, their own success stories and all of that. And women are beginning to realize that they are actually the ones losing. I always encourage women that if you want to bear a child, if you want to bring a child into this world, you should just do so because you actually wanted it, and you should be able to bring up a child which you should be able to take care of personally. Because this guy, like you can see in the videos I stitched, these men have these daughters in their life, the kids in their life, but they don't even know the name of the school their kids goes to. They don't even know the color of their eyes, to tell you that some of these men actually want to have that title of I am a father, but they don't actually want to raise these kids themselves. They don't want to raise it themselves, leaving everything for the woman to do. After raising the kids, I know she's not left with nothing. So if some women are beginning to be child free, or some women just want to give birth to only one child and focus more on their career, you wouldn't blame them, because it was just because of something like this that actually make a lot of women to decide to be child free, because this thing is something that is just getting out of hand. And a lot of women is now realizing that they necessarily don't really need a child if you don't want to, without caring what the society have to say about it. Because most times society will just push you to do whatsoever you want to do, you don't want to do, and later on you have to just leave to regret it and all of that. So it's better for you, if you don't want to have a child or something, you should just let it be, enjoy yourself, and build your future, become whatever you want to become, and not let anyone push you from to do whatever you don't want to do. And if you really want to have a baby, a child, you should just go for it. Go for it because you want it, not because somebody pushed you to do it, or somebody persuaded you to do it, because you might actually regret it, like, seriously. And because of this, so many guys are coming for women who decide to be child free, calling them all sort of names like I don't understand. These people, this is their body. They have the right. They have the right to choose whatsoever they want to do with their body. You cannot just subject them to do whatsoever they want to do because you feel that you are a man and you are entitled to a woman's body to bear you a child. Seriously, I'm just beginning to realize that women are now standing up to their feet, trying to go for what they actually want and believe, and not, sitting around to listen to whatsoever society have to make them, listen to, or do whatsoever they want to do because of society pressure and all of that. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We are just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to my channel if you're here to do that, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.